So this happened earlier in today, where IGN purchased, I mean, just about everybody. Um,
Wow, I didn't even see this. Did
oh,
they not
okay.
get look, did they get Kotaku?
Geez, I almost, yeah, geez, I sent the topics over like an hour ahead of time. I mean, I
Did
don't
you
know.
send I thought you didn't send them today. I was like, "Oh,
You
okay."
reacted to it.
I
You
reacted
did.
to I reacted to the StreamYard thing. I
Oh,
thought you
okay.
only sent the links and I didn't see the topic. Oopsie.
Oh no, no, that's all right. I'll just take it out of your paycheck next week. The So IGN bought. Okay, the list is actually insane. Um, GamesIndustry.biz, Eurogamer, including 6 local
Oh.
language editions, Rock Paper Shotgun, VG247, Dicebreaker, Outside Xbox, Digital Foundry, and Hookshot, as well as Nintendo Life, Push Square, Push X, Pure Xbox, and Time Extension.
I recognize I thought it was rock, paper, shogun, not shotgun.
Oh, well, you're just wrong about that. It's always been Shotgun, but that's okay. How can I expect you? I can't trust you at all anymore because
I know, there goes I'm a fake gamer
I'm always
girl.
no, I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna get Melonie armed so she doesn't have to make any oopsies on stream." No, so, yeah, I covered this and I was like, "Hey, check this out. Games journalism gets bad," and it kind of flopped, which I thought was interesting, but I think maybe it's like I mean, not a lot of people know or care about IGN anymore
True.
other than, like, when you're
Yeah.
dunking on them.
That's why I'm like, how is IGN affording this even if I mean, a lot of these websites though kind of on the like really struggling. So
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
Well, here's what I'm guessing based on nothing whatsoever, but I will say it confidently. My guess is that the purchase price for this portfolio of websites was very low. Like we saw basically Geno Media, which had purchased Kotaku, um,
Mhm.
which is a holding company, basically came out and said, like, this site's hemorrhaging cash. And they only have like 4 or 5 employees now. IGN is like a paper tiger. They have 18 million followers on YouTube and they can't even break 1,000 views on a video.
Right.
They have millions of followers on Twitter and they can't get more than 100 likes. And my guess is these websites were losing money
Mhm.
and whoever owned them was like, "Get me out." And IGN's like,
Right.
"I'll give you pennies on the dollar." And and obviously the follow-up reporting is that massive layoffs are already underway.
Oh.
Um, I mean, hey, you don't need a IT guy for every one of these websites when
Right.
you're
You
IGN,
don't Yeah, I'm just curious what they're gonna do with with acquiring all these now. Are they still gonna keep them all running? Because aren't they kind of wouldn't that kind of make them competition with each other too?
Yeah, I think in my experience with, like, acquisitions like this, um, because some of us worked in the private sector, they'll keep them all running just like this. Nothing will
Right.
really change. Where IGN will make money probably is when they sell ad packages to, you know, Ubisoft or anybody that advertises on IGN. Now they'll say, "Oh, you get, instead of getting 10 million impressions a month, we can offer you 30 million impressions a month for X dollars." So my guess is IGN is basically just purchasing these as digital billboard space because let's be honest,
Yeah.
they're not making money.
Right.
Like, these websites are not making money. They're a disaster. Maybe okay, so maybe 1 or 2 of them are, maybe Eurogamer because the
Mhm.
European market's different, but it's not like VG 24/7 is making, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I would be shocked if it made more than 3 or 4 grand a month. Like,
Mhm.
and that's with I mean, I ran exclusively games for 2 years or a year almost and I hemorrhaged cash,
Right.
even only paying writers like 20 or $30 an article.
Wow.
Like, so there's no way that these sites are making money. Yeah, I mean, exclusive games was this thing that I crowdfunded. I was like, let's build a video game website for people that like video games. And it turned out that really nobody wants to read that shit and they just want to read rage
Right.
bait. Like they just
Yeah, that sort of thing. And I think that's one of the reason why Kotaku's strategy right now is just the drama farming, because
they have no choice.
I know, because first of all, just writing about games and stuff, people aren't reading that as much, but also they don't have the knowledge about games to really be sticking with all of that either.
Well, the wild thing is, and by the way, just to make a correction, when I say makes $3,000 a month, I mean grosses $3,000 a month. Like
Mhm.
it's netting probably in the red. Whoever
Right.
owns half of these sites is probably losing money on them every month.
Right.
People are using ad blockers. People are using browsers that automatically block ads. People are paying less for ads. We've talked about this, whether it's YouTube or anything like that. And really, the games journalism industry, I mean, was dead after Gamergate 1.
Yep.
I mean, it was dead in 2016, 2017. They were replaced by YouTubers. And then even now, YouTubers, they're not even pulling the views anymore. I don't know where everyone went, maybe to Twitter?
I know it's
Because
where when it comes to sticking with actual game talk, it's even tough for YouTubers. So I don't know where. I don't know. It seems like when people are looking for outside stuff about games and what's going on with the games, they want to see people play the games maybe when they're watching streamers and stuff. But in
oh,
terms
I
of
guess
just,
maybe they're on stream. That might be a good point.
yeah, I think that's just it, because I don't. Yeah, I don't know, it's tough to say, because I feel like even when you talk about gaming news, when it's not surrounded by drama, just gaming news. Hey guys, look,
There's nobody who's
Street Fighter
popular.
dropped these new screenshots. There's this new character coming out, this and that. It doesn't really do as well. Yeah.
Here's now, this is no shade towards any of these people, even though they are all obsessive leftists, but no shade, right? Skill Up, I think we could both agree, is good at what he does, at least from a video game coverage, video game research. Are you familiar with Skill Up?
No.
Oh, okay. Well then,
Yeah, that's a thing. When if I think about gaming news and stuff for myself, and especially like in the Tomb Raider sphere, something I'm very passionate about, I'm looking on forums, uh I'm looking on Twitter. So
I think that's where everyone went.
I
I
think
think
that's why people don't look to yeah, the outlets, channels, or journalists for gaming news, because they can find it themselves on social media. Sometimes if it's leaked early, this and that, maybe that's why.
well, there were a whole bunch of during the the Last of Us 2 bonanza, there were a lot of, like, gaming YouTube channels that, like, got fat during that.
Yeah.
For example, I mean, Skill Up was less so, but, like, I remember Legacy Killa HD, which is, like, a shitty YouTube name, but whatever. Like, no disrespect. Like, I don't that's probably an unfair shot. But,
Mhm.
like, this is a dude that was averaging hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views. Now it's like 100K, and this was 10 days ago. That's the last time he
Mhm.
even uploaded. Like, there was a time where, and I don't think his quality has gone down. I just think
Right.
people don't care. Skill Up, I think he's very, very good. Million subs. Now this one
He's
was
still doing,
300K.
yeah, that's
It's been
not
okay.
terrible though. His numbers are, it's a lot better than the majority of old channels with a million subs.
Yeah, if you go to, like, Angry Joe, his channel's just garbage. Like,
Yeah.
now he's just so desperate for content, he's, like, reviewing TV shows, which nobody wants to see. And, like 4 days ago, not even 100,000 views. And it's like, dude, you have
Yeah.
3.3 million subscribers. It's 40,000 views a week ago, 50,000 views. I mean, I don't know where. I think we do. Like, okay, for example, here's another, like, he spent all this time on, like, Angry Review for Shogun,
Mhm.
100,000 views. By the way, I was told that that was a pretty good show, worth watching.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty brutal, I guess. They, like, boil a guy alive.
Oh, that sounds
Um,
awesome.
yeah, yeah,
Sign me
uh,
up.
yeah. But, like, I guess also, like, you can go back, he has 500K on this, but even that's, like, sad numbers for, and again, this is not like Angry Joe did the thing, like, when Trump won, his meltdown was epic. I like Joe. I got along with him until like eventually I poked him too many times where I think he blocked
I
me.
always got along with him, and then he just threw me under the bus a couple years ago, and he just still is on that. Oh, I don't know what happened to poor little Melonie. She was so sweet when I knew
He
her,
took
and
a
now
shot at
she's
you.
like
Yeah.
this. It's like, so well, I think he first threw me under the bus, so I started, or was that when I think it might have been when I was complaining about that fat black April O'Neil.
Yep.
Um,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
what
Yep. That
happened
was
to
on
you?
it.
You were the sweetest, nicest person. And it's like, well, what? How does that change? How am I not sweet and nice anymore because I want April O'Neil to look like herself?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
get it.
And I remember his like election night meltdown was so great.
Yeah.
It's one of those like every once in a while I'll go back to I think it wasn't Memology that did it. It was Dame Pesos, I think, has like the 2016 election night mega meltdown cut where it's like the Young Turks and everyone melting down, Angry Joe. Every once in a while when I'm feeling a little bit down, I'm like, I put that on. And then the same with like Joe, like he's like a weird thing with like Joe, and this is true of all, just to bring it back to the games industry in and of itself. There are times where, like, as a fan of Angry Joe, I used to love his reviews.
Mhm.
Uh, you know, there are times where he'll call out like woke nonsense,
Right.
and then he like forgets or something, and he's like, "Oh, whoops, I can't say that." And then he'll be like, there were several times in like the last 5 years where he was like, what the hell were they thinking? Why is it this? And then like suddenly he'd delete the tweets and be like, why are all these man babies mad about a
Right.
female Star Wars hero? And I'm like, dude, I just watched your review and you said it was ridiculous. And you said it was a Mary Sue and you said it was like whatever.
Mhm.
And then like I think like way better than anyone that the gatekeeping in that industry is
Oh, yeah.
literally you have to not just be a liberal, but you have to be outspoken and you have to be like a
Exactly.
lunatic.
And he's had some, I know that some companies had blacklisted him before because of
Yeah.
his reviews if they wouldn't give if he because he wouldn't give favorable reviews to stuff, and he
I've
was,
always trusted his
yeah,
reviews. For sure.
I
Yeah.
had a lot of respect for him when he was doing all that and kept going, but it's just like I don't understand now where this is coming from, because it's like, hey, it's not that you're totally not used to being blacklisted from stuff. So why would you want to bend the knee to this movement and stuff? Just lean into it. Go with, I mean, be honest. If you actually like a fat black April O'Neil, that's fine. But just
Yeah,
but if
we
you're
don't
just
believe
saying
you, but yeah.
it, yeah, if
Yeah.
you're saying it, then it's like now you're gonna decide to bend the knee. What's going on?